Well, I've got other things that I would rather work on, but the truth is, this video has to go on and go without saying. It looks like Google, via their video organ, has gone and done something absurdly stupid. It's about copyright, so those of you who are disinterested in this subject, you might as well wait for the Christmas episodes. I'll see you after the jump. Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to another MMO Anthropology. I'm in the interesting world of Guild Wars 2 with my Elementalist, and I'm here to talk to you about copyright, and specifically about what's going on in YouTube that's causing a great deal of strife. YouTube has started bringing down the hammer using their copyright ID system, which is essentially a bot that matches particular people's use of content against known content, and then allows the holders of those copyrights or those materials to redirect ad revenue or track it or even dismiss the person's use of it entirely. This has come to quite a storm lately because the bot that usually does this apparently has gone berserk. Not at all without YouTube's direct assignment for it to do so. An avalanche of these IDs have hit numerous extremely popular YouTubers who, of all things, do Let's Play of video games. And a performance by a YouTube commentator who gets into a video game, runs around a little while talking about their experience and playing the game for everyone, and then some of them, especially the more popular YouTubers, make money by presenting their personality across someone else's video game. Now, we've expected something like this to be coming for a long time now, because there is a little bit of an odd resistance from people who produce video games against people who produce videos about video games. There is both a synergistic and a sort of contradictory element between people who review and critique the video game industry and the video game industry itself, but the truth is that one really doesn't exist well without the other. Consumers want to know when a game is good and how it plays or what's going on with it. Also, consumers want to watch people playing video games. There's a lot of people who play, a lot of gamers who just don't have enough hours in the day to play enough games, and the result is that we grew up in a society where numerous of us would plop down on the couch and watch our friend play GTA 5 or whatever, ramming cars into light posts and running down pedestrians and laughing gaily while they got the experience. And now we have live streaming to interrupt that process and spread it out to more people. We don't have to be in the living room to see it anymore. And we can even time shift it by watching personalities, like especially people like Total Biscuit or Optic Midnight or some other YouTuber play the game. In most cases, the people who are going there aren't going there to see the game being played. They're going there to see the person, the YouTube celebrity individual, get into the game and play it in their own way and interact with them as a person. The result is that people are using the content of video games that they bought for real money in ways that aren't totally expected all the time, but the content that's in the video game is copyrighted, and some of these businesses, under the domains of things like the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, want to make sure that people aren't making money off of it or aren't taking money away from them. The only problem is that often these uses fall directly under the concept of fair use. They're either critiques or they're performances that simply use the game and present a new way of playing it, and it actually increase the popularity of the people that produce it by going out and striking down numerous videos, especially from extremely popular YouTubers. Oh, hello? Walk right through me. Has generated a bit of a backlash, especially from people who do reviews or who do Let's Plays and actually make money off of their channels because they became famous Let's Players. I've listened to the entire YouTube community come out in outrage against their videos, especially like a percentage of them getting ID'd when it has nothing to do with what is, you know, the copyright that might be held by the business in question. And some of these are stupidly or irresponsibly irrelevant. I, in my entire career so far, have only gotten one YouTube copyright ID on any of my videos, and you can probably guess why. I mostly do MMOs. I do very few video games that are single player. I avoid the hell out of popular music, but yet I've gotten one. How did I get it? I used the press materials for Tom Clancy's post-apocalyptic game when I was talking about the hybrid MMO solo revolution that's coming in 2014 with games like Tom Clancy's The Division or games such as Destiny. And those press materials, that 1 minute of press materials out of 15 minutes of me talking and discussing the footage, was enough for YouTube to ID that and take any revenue that I might have gotten away from that and give it to Coca-Cola. Now, okay, maybe Coca-Cola has the copyright on that press footage. Fine. But you know what? How many YouTubers right now actually make a real living off of making money off of views and presenting the thoughts that they have on the industry by using the industry's own visuals? Like all of this stuff from Guild Wars 2 as a backdrop to discuss the context of the game. And what does it do to our culture if we, as people holding a conversation in the context of games, like, you know, Guild Wars, World of Warcraft, that includes things like Call of Duty and Mass Effect, if we are unable to use that to afford our celebrities their livelihood? YouTube, through this monstrous glitch, whether it is actually a glitch or a stupid new policy that YouTube has entered into, has done a terrible disservice to all of us. And I, for one, am not looking forward to the fallout. The worst part of this, numerous different businesses from, I can't name any off the top of my head, but numerous of these copyright holders are curious and stunned that this has happened to people, because a lot of them actually do give users, their players, the ability to use their assets as background, as you know, to use their assets as a way to just demonstrate their games and talk about what goes in them. I mean, and they even posted on their websites that you're allowed to, and most of them are not the ones who are engaged in this strange, uptight, sudden closure on all of these YouTubers. It's kind of a tragedy, and it's worse than the tragedy of the commons that is struck through copyright and other of these archaic laws. It's a tragedy that's going to separate people from willing and thoughtful audiences. It's going to injure the industry itself. And it works for YouTube because YouTube is a gigantic organization that has monopolized our ability to have a discussion with one another. It's YouTube is positioned so well that it is this huge global entity that reaches out to so many people that it is the de facto locale to go to hold your conversation with other gamers, to critique games, or to show a performance, or to view someone, which is why I'm here. That's why I'm here talking about MMO gaming in front of everyone. And unless we get in front of this, we go to the different businesses who are affected, we go to the developers and the publishers and say, please go to YouTube and tell them to stop this, we may be suffering a massive die-off of very useful content produced by our own community, and a belligerent injury struck to the very fan culture that makes YouTube awesome. Well, that's it for today. I've got better things to talk about than the nonsense that YouTube is bringing down on us. I'm sorry, I really don't have a closer for this. If you are upset by what's going on at YouTube, find a way to bring some activism to the field. Tweet at the companies who are involved. Tell publishers and developers to reach out to YouTube to tell them to stop. Reach out to your favorite celebrities who publish or are part of talking about video games on YouTube and show your support. And maybe donate to the EFF, because no doubt the EFF and others who are at the forefront of thinking about copyright or dealing with the sort of things that are happening on YouTube, or engaging how people can talk about the very content, the culture, and the media that we consume, are going to be the vanguard of fixing this problem, or at least finding a happy medium that will make people wake up and see what's going on. As usual, good night, good dreams, and hopefully I'll talk to you all later about a much more interesting and awesome subject.